Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to your new moon in Sagittarius tarot reading. My name is Natasha, also known as Nourish Natasha. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. I figured we do a little change of scenery. This is my living room. If you see people standing in the background, it's just my cardboard cutouts. I have Freddy and Pennywise over there and Beetlejuice over there. My house stays spooky year round. I just figured we should change it up a little for this new moon in Sagittarius because that's kind of the vibe. This reading is for the collective, so guess what? If you made it here, you're the collective. Look at that Four of Wands lurking at the bottom of the deck. That's the collective and community right there, my friends. So if you're here, if this found its way to you, this is for you. I kind of put the intention out there that this finds who it needs to find. So if it found you, maybe stick around. That Four of Wands keeps wanting to come out. Definitely some foundation energy, some community, family energy, some home and hearth energy. Of course, the Tower is looking at the bottom of the deck now. I'm using the Way Home Tarot. This is probably my most favorite tarot deck. And then we're going to be clarifying with its kind of sister deck. Postcards from Liminal Space. This deck is not available for purchase anymore. It's kind of limited edition, but you can definitely get this deck from Everyday Magic. I'll put the link in the description box. But let's talk about this new moon in Sagittarius. So it is on November 23rd. Sagittarius season starts on the 22nd. And, I am a Sagittarius rising. Sagittarius is kind of known for being very spontaneous, loves to travel, a little... Again, there's no positive, negative traits. Like, there is positive, negative traits to every sign. Doesn't mean one sign's worse than the other. I feel like Sagittarius is just very, I don't want to say chaotic, but very just like spontaneous, I think is the best word. I feel like my Sagittarius rising shows up in that I like to travel. I like to, if I'm stressed, my first reaction is to go somewhere else or leave everything behind, right? That's kind of the Sagittarius energy. It is fire sign. I would say it's the most kind of airy, watery fire sign. But yeah, we are in Sagittarius for this new moon, Sagittarius season. This is our first, who's at the bottom? We got 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Cups, letting go of that grief to get that abundance. We love to see it. This is our first new lunar cycle after eclipse season. Those eclipses were rough. I spent the full blood moon lunar eclipse in Salem at my Witchcraft and Wellness retreat, which if you'd like to come, I have one in March. We're going back to Salem for the new moon in Pisces and Ostara, or the spring equinox. I am doing a sale for Black Friday, so you can get $220 off with the code 222 if you want to come to one of my retreats. Anywho, that eclipse was intense. It was a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And it was our last full lunar eclipse until 2025. So it was a massive release. I feel like for me, it was probably one of the first times that I really cried a lot. I couldn't cry because I was working. I was at my retreat, so I couldn't release under the eclipse per se. But when I got home, I literally spent 5 days watching Lord of the Rings and crying. So that was the vibe. And now this new moon in Sagittarius is like a breath of fresh air. It is a new start. It is a new lunar cycle after that intense eclipse season. If you hear water in the background, it's my little pup drinking some water. But it's all about, again, a new fresh start. We have been kind of, I feel like getting messages to stop or to pause or to take some time to just kind of not take any action. And while I feel like we still shouldn't be taking any major actions in this moment, this is the time to hit the reset button. So if you find that you are doing habits, staying around people, places, energies, anything that just feels, maybe the way you're reacting to certain situations, anything that just feels icky, it's the time to hit the reset button. Stop doing that. Take that heavy sigh of relief and move on. We released under that eclipse, and now it's time to figure out our new story. That eclipse, the lunar eclipse in November, at the beginning of November, was all about closing the old story, the old chapter, and now we're writing the new one. So we know new moons are about manifesting, setting new intentions. I would recommend setting your intention for this new chapter, for this new year that we have coming up. Write your story. You are in control of your story. Write your new story. What else do I have written down here? Sagittarius in the tarot is ruled by Temperance. And Temperance is a card which I feel like is very not so much Sagittarius energy, but it's what Sagittarius needs. So Temperance is the card of patience, of balance, of grounding. In the card, it's interesting if you look at it, it is an archangel, I believe. I want to say it's Michael. I'm not entirely sure which angel is on the card, but it usually is depicted as an angel, and one of their feet is in the water and one is on the ground. So it's kind of that balancing of energies, still grounded but still also flowing. It is a sign that your guides can be watching over you, that you're protected in the actions that you take, in the new adventures, new journeys. But it is a card of balance, patience, temperance. Not any rash actions or huge decisions. It is, taking things slow, but still, it's good for you, right? It's moderation, it's balance, it's patience. And that's the reset button that you should be hitting. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this Sagittarius new moon. We're going to pull some cards about it. See what comes up. So take a nice deep breath for me. There's Temperance right there in this deck, showing her face. Take a nice deep breath for me. Send your intention my way. What are you looking to get out of this reading? What questions do you have? Take a deep breath. So many swords, so much swords energy. All right, well, not bad, not bad. We love to see it. We also have swords at the bottom of the deck with the Father of Swords, Nine of Wands right behind that. All right, I'm going to turn this around so you can see what's going on, and we're going to talk about it. All right, my friends, in the position of past, we have the Six of Pentacles and the Son of Swords. In the position of present, we have the Father of Cups and the High Priestess. And in the position of future, we have the Two of Swords and the Three of Cups. And again, the Father of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Also, this is my little setup here. I have the spell candle from House Witch. It is a spell to bring magic into the world. We love to see it. I have a lapis lazuli that I feel like that crystal just reminds me of Sagittarius. Same with pyrite, and then this awesome blood jasper tower that I got at House Witch also while I was in Salem. So let's talk about it. All right, so in the position of past, our past energy, we have the Six of Pentacles and the Son of Swords. Now you can see here the Son of Swords, he has a tornado kind of inside of him. This is like the immature young air energy, whereas at the bottom of the deck we have the mature air energy, masculine energies. Whereas you can see this is a tornado, right? Chaotic, a little destructive. The Father of Swords is controlled. It's the same energy, right? It's both wind. However, the Father of Swords is a controlled, productive type of energy, and the Son of Swords is a chaotic, destructive type of energy. Even though, again, Sagittarius is a fire sign, as I said at the beginning of this reading, it's kind of the most airy, watery fire sign. I feel like this is the two sides of Sagittarius energy. On the one hand can be kind of chaotic, a little destructive, very tornado energy. And then on the other hand, it can also be very, you still have that wind, that force, but that's powering this, I forgot, windmill. That's what they're called. I'm like, what is it called? It's a windmill. But it is productive and it's still moving and it's still producing that wind energy. It's just not as chaotic and unbalanced as this. And in the position of past, we have this card with the Six of Pentacles, which is a card of balance. So I feel like in the past, the reason why you have been unable to feel this balance, right? The Six of Pentacles is traditionally depicted as like an older, wealthier dude. He's holding scales and he's handing out money to those less fortunate than him. It's about equal give and take. And the reason why you have not been able to master that equal give and take of the Six of Pentacles is because you've been too much in this Son of Swords chaos energy. It might be fun. It might be what you need in the moment, what you needed to kind of get you through whatever life was throwing at you. Maybe life was a bit chaotic, so you had to match that chaos energy. You had to kind of match that. The Son of Swords is the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords I like to call the lightning pony. He comes in fast and hot, and it's like lightning striking. It's very, it's just like kind of chaos energy. And that's why we haven't been able to find balance, because perhaps the energy around you in your life has been chaotic, or you have been making chaotic decisions. I know for me, chaos was definitely the name of the game this past year. I had to move homes because my landlord sold my old house. I had 2 surgeries. Yes, I've hosted some really awesome retreats, but those were also kind of surrounded by chaos. I had a lot of like really random chaotic things happening in the home. And you know, it was just like stuff that I couldn't control, right? And so in order to deal with that, we had to also kind of become a force that is uncontrollable. And, you know, it might have served its purpose at one time. This was, you know, our habits, our reactions, people's, places, energies that, again, kind of are this chaotic, destructive energy, but we might have needed it in that moment to survive. But you don't need it anymore. You don't need it anymore. If you want to have this balance, we gotta let go of that energy. Not letting go of it completely, right? Just maturing it to the Father of Swords. Again, in the present, we also have another father. These are the kings. King of Cups, Father of Cups, King of Swords, Father of Swords. And it's interesting though, in the position of present, we also have the High Priestess. This is divine masculine, this is divine feminine, so there is a balance there. It's both heavy on the water energy. You can see here, this is above water. The High Priestess is kind of above water. And then again, this is the King of Water, the King of Cups. If you look inside him, his cup is kind of turned upside down, and it's almost like a swamp. It's kind of, if I flip it this way, you can see it's kind of like a swamp, and there's trees growing out of it. Now, the Father of Cups, he is able to keep his cool emotionally, even through rocky waters. You can kind of see here the water is kind of, there's lots of waves, it's not still. And then again, this cup is turned upside down and the water is kind of overflowing into a swamp. You know, it's like even when there is chaos, we need to be able to find that balance. We need to be able to trust our intuition and be emotionally mature instead of delving into this chaos energy, chaos destructive energy. And in the present, you're able to do that. You're able to trust your gut, your intuition. The High Priestess is the card of the third eye, your intuition, your gut, trusting yourself, self-trust. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. You're able to kind of stop doubting yourself, even when things are rocky, even when the water is rough. You're able to stand tall in that kind of swampy, chaotic water energy. You're able to have control of your emotions, have healthy coping mechanisms. And if you're like, Natasha, no, I'm still struggling, that's not the case in the present. It's okay. You're working on it, or you know you need to work on it. This is where we're trying to get to in the present. We want to get to this level of emotional maturity and self-trust in the present. That's what you should be working on under this Sagittarius new moon. And then the position of future, we have the Two of Swords and the Three of Cups. So Two of Swords is usually some kind of decision energy. It's kind of like the baby card to the hanged man almost, where you're kind of stuck, right? You've been sawing at this rope in between these two swords forever, but it seems unable to break, and you seem unable to make a decision. Like you're hoping that rope will break and make the decision for you, but it's not happening. Traditionally, this card is depicted as a woman seated. She's kind of bound, blindfolded, and she has her two swords. And again, it's like that inability to move forward because you're kind of stuck at that crossroads. So I feel like, you know, if we kind of worked on self-trust and emotional maturity, and then suddenly we're going to be faced with, in the future, a situation where we're going to need to use that. Trust yourself to make this decision. Don't just wait for the rope to break and you're like, well, either way it goes, I guess I'll deal with. No, you need to make the decision. And that decision should be one of the Three of Cups. You know, moving forward in this Sagittarius new moon energy, in this new chapter, this new story, the Three of Cups has been coming up for me a lot. This is the card that represents my retreats and my online communities. It is a card of community. Traditionally, it is depicted as three women celebrating. They all have cups. They're cheersing. They are celebrating squad goals, very happy, celebratory. The cup runneth over, very emotionally fulfilled energy. And you should not just be waiting for this rope to break and that's the decision, that's the direction you're going to go. You should choose what direction you're going to go based on this energy, based on what makes you happy, what is going to make your cup feel full. Are you going to surround yourself with people that are good for you or people that are bad for you? Like I literally have written down in my notes for the Sagittarius new moon, hit the reset button, new habits, people, places, energies, reactions, new story. That's where you should be moving to when you're faced with this decision that you're going to have to make. Don't just let the rope break and let the decision be made for you. You need to make that decision from that place of that reset. What do you actually want? What is your new story going to look like? You want it to be good. You want it to feel happy. So stop just letting, your life's decisions kind of be made for you from this heavy air energy of like chaos and just like, well, whatever happens, happens. Like, I'm just going to let that rope break and I'm not going to, I don't want to choose because I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself to make this decision. So I'm just going to let the universe choose for me. No. I mean, obviously, yes, there's things we can't control in life, and sometimes the universe does choose for us. But in the times where you can choose for yourself, choose based on this emotional fulfillment, based on what feels good. What would you be celebrating with your squad? Choose that. And it seems so simple, right? It's like, well, yeah, obviously I want to choose that. But when we don't trust ourselves, when we're lacking in this high priestess energy, when we are kind of deep in the chaos energy because we're in survival mode, it's hard to make decisions from that place. Or again, it's maybe a really deep subconscious belief of not being worthy of happiness and celebration. So we self-sabotage. No more. We're done. New habits, new reactions, new energies, a new story. So let us clarify with this oracle deck. There is a reset button card in this deck. I'd be interested. I just saw as I was shuffling, maybe she'll come out. Snip Snip has been following me. It's like a card with scissors on it. There it is right there. But we'll see. We'll see who comes up. Take a deep breath. I don't know who that was that just flipped out, but we're going to find out. This card has also been stalking me. The Yield to Reality. Who was this that flipped out? Of course. All right, friends. Who's at the bottom of the deck? Perception is reality. Don't forget that. All right, so the card that flipped out is Death is the Healing. It's a spooky card. It's a scary card. It's a little intense. But it's a light at the end of the tunnel. It seems to me, it's very similar to the Star card, specifically in this tarot deck that I'm using. The Star card is depicted as a bright star in the distance among a burnt forest. And the burnt forest is actually in the Tower card before the Star in this deck. The Tower is a cabin in the woods being struck by lightning in this deck, in the Way Home Tarot. And the Star is the woods after kind of the burn happened, and there is a bright star in the distance. It's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's hope. Death is the healing. Is death terrible and hard? Is the Tower terrible and hard? Absolutely. But things need to die so you can move on, so you can heal. It's not a literal death in most cases. It's a metaphorical death, but letting those old habits, old people, old places, old energies, old stories die so you can heal. Over the Six of Pentacles and the Son of Swords is the wound and the gift. Very kind of similar energy here. Death is the wound and healing is the gift, essentially. And this is over, again, our position of past with the Six of Pentacles and the Son of Swords. This energy is coming from a wound. This chaos energy. The reason why we can't find that Six of Pentacles balance is coming from that wounded energy. However, again, sometimes we need to go through a wound or a sacrifice or a death to get to the gift, to get to the healing. It's not fun, and sometimes it's out of our control, and it's not our fault sometimes. But we had to go through it for whatever reason. What's coming up to me right now is like, we all want to be in this main character energy, right? Main character energy, main character energy. The main character has a lot of shit happen to them. If you are a main character in a book, so many major events are happening, right? It's not always fun. Yes, the main character usually has that hero's journey and that, like, you know, big happily ever after at the end, but the hero's journey is a lot of wounds to get to that gift. You know? So we need to, instead of acting this chaotic, destructive energy because we were wounded, we need to start channeling that energy again into that Father of Cups, High Priestess, emotional maturity, yield to reality a little bit. That's the card over the Father of Cups and the High Priestess. Because this chaos energy that we're kind of acting, I'm hearing like acting like a wounded animal, right? That's the wound. Is like, you know, it was hard. We went through some shit in the past couple years, okay? It's in the past year. And that Son of Swords energy is kind of coming from that like wounded animal response of like, chaos, destruction. I remember one time my childhood dog, she got her foot stuck in between. We had a trampoline in my backyard, and she somehow managed to get her foot stuck in between one of the like poles on the trampoline, and she wouldn't let us help her because she was in pain. So she was like, you know, snarling and biting at us, and it wasn't her fault, right? Now, I'm not going to fault my dog for acting out when she's in pain, but that's this energy. That's that kind of chaos, destructive energy that we're acting out because we were wounded. But if we want that gift, we're going to have to yield to reality, tap into our intuition, know that that's not the healthiest behavior. That's not where we should be acting from. And the reality is you need to work on yourself. You need to work on that new story. There's a quote, I want to say Will Smith said it, at least that's who I associate with this quote. Maybe he said it from someone else, but anyways, it is, sometimes it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility, because we don't do victim blaming here, obviously. Like, if you've been through some trauma, not at your own hands, it's never your fault. But the healing is our responsibility, and it's hard and it sucks. And you're like, well, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why do I have to be the one to deal? Why do I have to be the one that has to heal all this generational trauma? If I had the answers, I would tell you, but I do not. If you want to heal, you're going to have to yield to reality. My dad used to say, the real world, Natasha, you need to deal with the real world. When we're in this chaos energy, we're like, I don't want to deal with the real world. No. I don't want to deal with that wound. I don't want to deal with that death. Yeah, I want to heal, but I don't want to do the hard stuff. Yield to reality is like, well, if you want to heal, you have to yield to the real world and what has happened in the real world, instead of disassociating into destructive habits. Calling myself out a little bit. And then in the position of future, we have expand time. Basically, I mean, I think this is saying, A, it's going to take time to heal, and B, you don't have to make whatever this decision is right away. Take your time with it. Take your time to trust your intuition, to trust your gut, to follow that Three of Cups, that healthy community celebration energy. It's not going to happen immediately. You might not be able to make that decision immediately, but you are going to have to make that decision to follow that new path. But take your time with it. A lot of the messages that I have been getting lately, again, this yield to reality card has been stalking me, just like yield, slow down, take your time, because this Son of Swords energy is like fast, go. No, we need to slow down. Especially, we're coming up on the winter solstice, winter season. It's all about slowing down, taking your time, expanding time. It's like, why does it always feels like, at least to me, like summer goes so fast, like spring and summer so fast. And then fall and winter, everything seems so slow. It's that expanded time energy. Expand time, take your time, find your community, your squad, your support in that time. And then at the bottom of the deck, again, perception is reality. Don't forget that. Your perception is reality. And if you are trying to distract or create a new perception or new perspective that isn't real, you know, your reality is not going to really be reality. We need to come back to the actual reality, maybe flip your perspective a little bit. I'm getting kind of like hanged man energy. Flip your perspective a little bit to see things in a different light and expand some time so you can heal. So I hope that resonates with you, my lovelies. You know, we're feeling a little called out, but it's okay. We got a lot of work to do under the Sagittarius new moon. I do have a yoga class for the Sagittarius new moon as well here on my YouTube channel for free. I am also doing a new moon workshop for the Sagittarius new moon. I usually do these only in my membership here on YouTube, but for November, I'm making all my membership classes live to the public because I haven't been here a lot. I've been very busy in my real life. So, you know, I just wanted to come back to YouTube and try to put out as much for you guys as possible. So I hope to see you live. Maybe I'll see you in the membership. Maybe I'll see you at a retreat. Don't forget, if you want to come to one of my retreats, I am running a sale for Black Friday. You can get $222 off with the code 222. I'm going to be in Salem again next March and Joshua Tree in June. They're witchcraft and wellness retreats. They're absolutely amazing. If you want that 3 of Cups vibe, you want a supportive community, you want to coven, come join us. It's going to be incredible. So I will maybe see you guys there. Maybe I'll see you in the membership. Maybe I'll see you in the yoga class. Maybe I'll see you in a live. Either way, I hope I see you again. I hope you have a wonderful Sagittarius new moon, and I will see you next time.